change his life for the better, but still he couldn't decide whether to accept the first mission or not. However, at the end of the day he didn't have anything to lose, so he decides to accept it, but when he was about to do it, he ended up touching Karen, the typical popular girl of the school, and even though he tried to explain what happened, she slapped his face thinking he was harassing her, and to make matters worse the girl dared to order him to bring her a sandwich from the store, telling him she was some kind of model so she shouldn't be doing her own shopping, and she didn't even give RMC money to pay for the sandwich. So yeah, RMC out here getting punked by everybody. Even this girl gave him orders. Things just got worse when on the way to the store he ran into the bullies who beat him up on regular basis. The situation was unbearable and the poor guy couldn't do anything about it. So when he got home he apologized to his mom and then yelled he wanted to leave that school because he wasn't learning anything interesting.